It's a Miami Dolphins game week. They take on the New England Patriots, who gutlessly don't believe they can adequately prepare for Miami in their own state. They're going to come down here in the middle of the week because it's too hot. Idiots. We'll get more into that in just a second. But I was tipped off to something. All right. Shout out to let me get this guy's name who let me know about the rat bastardry. Raphael on Instagram. Shout out to you, dude. So these dummies up in Boston, Leroy, on NBC Sports Boston. These two jokers go by the name Phil Perry and Tom Curran. And they believe that the Dolphins will fail this season because Mike McDaniel tells too many jokey jokes and that he doesn't look intimidating. Here is NBC Sports Boston.
My question, though, is, Tom, is this going from Bill Parcells to Pete Carroll? Did they swing too far in the opposite direction just to get people to feel good about themselves? Because I think there is something to that, especially with today's athlete and how they respond and how they perform well. But I think there's also a component of leadership where, you don't necessarily have to be treating every podium session like it's open mic night at the comedy club. And I think that's what I felt is coming from Miami right now.
And I think what we have to bear in mind, too, you see Wes Welker cruising around there as an assistant coach. So much will fall to the assistant coaches as well to really prop up Mike McDaniel in his first year there. Because, look, I think a lot of things matter. When the NFL, when it hires referees who are tall, imposing, oftentimes muscular. It matters how you look as an authority figure. I'm telling you, it's true. Look it up. Mike McDaniel is the size of Mike Reese. I love Mike Reese. I would follow him into a fire. Is Mike McDaniel going to get that same loyalty? He needs his assistant coaches to be able to translate his message, and Mike McDaniel himself is going to need to be a little Napoleon when he has to be and bring the hammer down. Because as we've seen, and I've had this theory for a long time, Michael Giardi, South Florida is a hard place to maintain the focus of players because there's an awful lot going on.
What?
So let me get this straight.
Go ahead, dude.
If that is the case, why in the hell would New England come down here to practice?
Interesting point, Leroy Horde.
The other thing. Doesn't Pete Carroll have a Super Bowl and went to 2?
He does, yes.
How about crybaby Dick Vermeil?
Yep.
Okay, you're going to have a hard time being imposing when you cry when your starting quarterback gets hurt.
Not the fact that the greatest coach of all time has moobs.
That's because he's been coaching so long. Everybody yeah.
I mean, like, Andy Reid intimidating looking?
Right.
Where's Hawaiian shirts?
Right. He looks like a walrus. Like, what are we doing?
I don't know.
Excited for you guys to truly take in how physically imposing I am.
This guy's not going to do nothing. I'd stick him in a locker.
I tell you what. Like, so we all have to look like Vrabel? All coaches? All head coaches? All head coaches have to look like Dan Campbell?
Everybody's got to look like Dan Campbell.
You follow Dan Campbell. You love Dan Campbell because he's imposing.
Of course.
You're not winning any games.
Doesn't matter if you have 3 ass cheeks or 1 toe. I will kick your ass.
Is Kyle Shanahan imposing?
No. Is McVay imposing?
No. He has the Iron Man mustache and beard.
He looks like a handsome dwarf.
He looks like a lighter-skinned Iron Man with the way he cuts his beard.
A little swole. Who? McVay's a little swole. Oh, he's just a little. He's a little swole.
What are we doing? Like, how and I don't know any of these guys' backgrounds or whatever, but
they're Patriots reporters.
Right, but none of them,
no, they're not players. No, they're
because I would say, like, hold on. You're afraid of Sean Payton kicking your ass? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, the only head coach that I knew, or the only guy that ended up being the head coach that was like Dan Campbell, was Mike Tice.
Boxing Fin fan says that McVay looks like a muscle hamster.
Yeah, I'll take that. All right.
I do like the idea of Sean McVay on a giant wheel and then just going up to that little water bottle to hydrate.
I mean, I just don't. I don't like.
Coach, we're talking
But here, it's funny to me how people make things that have nothing to do with football important in football, right? Like we just had a whole conversation or argument about the turnover chain and whether you have a problem with it or not. And my whole thing is that it affects the game. A 15-yard penalty affects the game. But if a head coach is imposing or not, what does that have to do with the game?
I just like the idea. They're like, yeah, I've always said, South Florida is a tough place to focus. And it's like, oh, well, your Lord Genius up there is like, you know what? We need more days down there.
Now here's they're going to pull a Tobin caveat.
Hmm?
They're not going to South Florida. They're going to Palm Beach.
They're going to Palm Beach. Understandably so, yes.
Wait, that's a Tobin move right there.
It is. It's got a Cheesecake Factory and an Improv, which is a nice place to go. Don't get me wrong, but it's not exactly the Clevelander, Would you like to hear Mike McDaniel's advice to the Patriots? This is a warning shot from Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
Because who they say tells too many jokey jokes.
Let's hear it.
It is a component, but to make it black and white, I don't think myself nor Coach Belichick, I don't want to speak for him, but I think that's just a component that he's trying to help his team get prepared for that game, but it's not the entirety of it. So it'll be good for them to, I feel very lucky, almost overly lucky that I get to work on my tan all the time. I'm sure there's a lot of players and coaches for the Patriots. They'll be excited to, bronze up a little bit, before the TV regular season starts. So I know that for a fact that if you don't put sunscreen on, you will get bronzed. So factually, they better SPF up.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought he was going to say shut up. That sounded so close to.
No, listen, you better
leap up, right?
Yeah, you better SPF up or you're gonna F up.
But here's the deal, right? Here's where sometimes you have to be aware of who's on your team. Mac Jones is a ghost.
That's right.
You don't want, dude, he's gonna come out on Sunday like a lobster.
Mac Jones is going to walk around this week with the goop on his nose.
Oh no, he's with the long sleeve shirt,
of course,
the sun blocker,
of course.
Oh yeah.
I just don't understand the theory behind it. It's to me, this is what it speaks of. It's like,
because guess what, Miami ain't gonna go practice in the cold,
right? Trust me, we know. We know. Tua is like, I practice in the cold this offseason. Everybody, where'd you go, Tua? Maryland. Thanks, man. Really brave the elements there, Tua. Which, man, I forgot to ask Larry Zonka about that last week. Damn it.
Gotta get him on again.
Damn it. I wanted to ask him about training Tua in the cold. Neither here nor there. Oh, well. Regrets, I've had a few. But I can't wrap my mind around what these Celtics jokers are these Patriots jokers. I guess they're one and the same. Are just saying out here. He's not intimidating. I'm not scared of him. He's going to need Welker. You know Welker.
Hey,
Welker's going to have to.
You know who's a very intimidating coach? Mike Singletary.
Yeah.
How'd that work out?
I mean, he showed his 3 ass cheeks and 1 toe, and he got fired.
Doesn't matter if you have 1 ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
That's who those guys want.
What about old defense coordinator that went up to Denver?
Oh, Vance Joseph.
Swole
as hell.
How'd that work out?
Not great, Bob.
How ridiculous does that sound? The team would play better if the coach was as long as the coach can get the message.
Why is he out there telling jokes? You think this football is a joke? You think you can have fun with the game?
You think Nick Saban is imposing at Alabama?
No.
He's a munchkin.
I mean, his anger is imposing.
Okay, but they're like you are okay. Again, they making it sound like your head coach need to be 6'4".
I love the fact that
You think anybody is afraid of the tuna beating their ass? No.
I love the fact that they think that Mike McDaniel's like calling Wes Welker in his office and goes, Wes, can you go tell Tyreek that he's not going to get as many touches this week? What?
Like and guess what? Here's where you can find out about those things. Because every time you interview a player, right? They all seem to have the utmost respect for Mike McDaniel. So, message received.
Headlines are brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
So Mike McDaniel speaking to the media yesterday was talking about the idea of, are you going to be intimidating facing Bill Belichick? Can you get this from old McCoach yesterday? Not blown away by facing Bill Belichick and taking on the mad genius that is Bill Belichick, the old matching of wits. And Boston media up there, he's gonna wet his pants. He's a pants wetter. Here's my
Yeah, I mean, can there be a larger disparity in career win-loss total? No, it would be a bigger deal, I think, if Coach Belichick and I were on the field, maybe doing like an Oklahoma drill. But I don't foresee that happening. I don't think the fans would really pay for that. So there's we do our best. I know one thing that that coaches in the National Football League, especially experienced NFL head coaches, especially arguably the best coach of all time, Bill Belichick, he's going to be prepared. So you're that as a head coach, you better prepare your team and leave no stone unturned. Otherwise, you'll end up kind of coaching with regret after the fact. Luckily, the schedules came out a long time ago, so I digested that and knew what week one was. And luckily, it's the Miami Dolphins versus New England Patriots, and not a one-on-one square off between head coaches.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, but it is too, though, dude.
Stop.
No, I mean, it is. Yes,
You're
I get
the
what
worst.
he's saying.
You're
I get what
the
but it
worst.
also is, though, dude. Like,
Stop.
that's an adorable thing for him to say. But as soon as once he walks out of that stadium on Sunday with a win, he's gonna be like 1-0 against the supposed GOAT, washed GOAT. Hashtag. What was LeBron, that fake hashtag that he was going to hashtag washed king?
Yes.
That's what we'll do for Belichick. Hashtag washed genius. Congratulations. Listen, Bill Belichick, you invented the telephone. Mike McDaniel, he invented the iPhone. All right. It's time to grow up, Grandpa. Grow up, Grandpa.
Grow up, Peter Pan.
What is wrong with you?
Well, listen, I know that's your guy. You have an affection for him and all that type of stuff, but you would agree this is clearly the behavior of a shook man coming down to South Florida 5 days early. And some guys are like, it's trying to prevent cramps.
Here's what I would say.
That'll work.
Here's what I would say. If you can do something that makes people think it has an effect on the game, then do it. Well, like, there's nobody on the Dolphins team that should feel any threat from the Patriots coming practice down here. In fact, to me personally, it looks like they have doubts.
Agreed.
Why would you go to this extreme to practice a week early for the first game of the year where it's hot as hell everywhere?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the fact that you're looking at this all, like, no.
Preventing cramps. What
You know what's worse than traveling for a game? Going for a game and spending a whole week there.
Yeah. Well, you could be in worse places.
It don't matter.
You think he's gonna pull the move he did with you, where he offers everybody to go in the van and he'll pay for Cheesecake Factory at City Place as long as you go with the coaches?
No, most of the players make more than him. Like,
So
no,
that's too old school a movie. Won't do that anymore.
Yeah. But like it's so like it's not that big of a deal. I think them coming down here has no effect on what the Dolphins do to prepare for this game. None. Zero.
I agree with
Zero.
that. I don't think it has anything to do with what the Dolphins are going to do prep wise. It's clearly it's just a strange thing. I've never heard about it for anything other than time zones.
True. Not the same time zone. That's
weird.
It's weird.
Weird.
Right.
Like
what happens is when you travel as a player, it's like as soon as you get on the plane, your mindset goes to a certain place, right? Because usually everything's timing. Everybody's schedule is. I mean, when I was in Minnesota, we would get a schedule for the whole year through the Super Bowl, right? You may tweak it a little bit, but you knew what you were going to be doing every day. And the reason why Denny did that, he says, because I want you to relax and play football. I don't want you worrying about a schedule. I don't want you to worry about traveling and all that stuff. We took off from the same gate every week at the same time. So 1 o'clock, gate 20 something, you knew where to be. You didn't need a schedule. You didn't need no. And I think when you do something different from that, sometimes as players, because you're such a creature of habit, you get a little antsy. So once you get on that plane, you're thinking, oh, it's almost go time. And now you got 4 more days. Yeah. So like, I don't think it helps. Like it's hot everywhere.
It's just weird.
So, it's weird, but like we've done. I tell you, the worst
Everything
thing
he's doing is. I think this just speaks to me that everything he's kind of doing is weird. Like he trusts no one. He's got a defensive coordinator coaching the offense now. He's bringing people here early. He's lashing out, dude. This is what it is. This is old man lashing out. Sometimes you just gotta. It's like remember Seinfeld's uncle. He would just steal the batteries because he was lashing out. He's an old man. He's confused. I think that's what Belichick's doing. He's just an old man, and he's just gonna do whatever he wants.
Now I tell you, the worst thing he ever did with us. 2 things. One, if anybody's familiar with Buddy Ryan, he plays he's the inventor of what is called the 46 defense. That means that you have all your 3 interior men are covered. You have 2 pass rushers outside. You have a linebacker over the tight end and a linebacker. It's a bear defense. It's like 8, 9, 10 men on up around the line of scrimmage. And we practiced against that for a whole week right before the week of the last preseason game, right? The other thing that he did was, this was a thing for a minute, that in preseason, guys would travel the morning of the game. So I remember we got up in the morning, flew to Indianapolis, rented a hotel room, took a nap, and then played the game and flew back. That was way worse than what they're doing now. So he's got it in his repertoire of things to do.
Maybe he just wants to come down and golf. Ever think of that?
Well, he don't look like he's been in the sun too much. I'm gonna just put it out there.
The Patriots are traveling down here today, eating peanuts, idiots on their flight. Mac Jones definitely a middle seat guy.
No. That's not how that works.
Nah, that's how it works, dude. That's how it works.
Old vets get their own row.
Oh.
Young guys. No, it's either you get your own row or it's 2 to a row. Young guys have to cram 3 to a row.
Here is WEEI this morning. Now, if you guys are just tuning in, we've already heard from NBC Sports Boston, and they think that Mike McDaniel looks too much like a nerd to be a good coach. Now, WEEI, they are guaranteeing a win over the Miami Dolphins. Let's fire up the Odyssey app.
The Patriots are going to win Sunday in Miami. Book it. I'm not betting, but do it if you want to make some money. Here's why. Number one, what does a parent care about more? Their legacy or setting their children up for success?
Setting their children up for success.
Bill Belichick is, at the end of his career, an awful franchise. He is too invested in their success. Number two, Mike McDaniel, rookie head coach. rookie head coaches against Bill Belichick that had not previously worked on his staff pee down their leg at every first meeting they have against the team. And number 3, Bill Belichick multiple times has discussed how the preseason is meaningless and the games and the plays that you saw on offense are not a reflection for what he views this team as. So either they're going to do the zone run Sunday and lose 35-10, or he has some plays that we haven't seen yet, and they're going to show them on Sunday. They went 7-9, 10-7. This is the 3rd year. If he sucks, we can talk about it and say he's the worst coach of all time. But until then, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt for those reasons. They begin the season 1-0 Monday or Sunday in Miami.
What? That's your guarantee? First of all, what is reason number 1 again? What, you want to set your kids up for success? You don't want success yourselves? First of all, obviously, dude is not watching House of the Dragon because that king, that's all he cares about is his legacy.
Yep. That's it.
He doesn't care about Rhaenyra at all. What do you think about hey Rhaenyra? What do you spoiler alert? What do you think about being with your 2-year-old half brother? Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
That is
throwing it out there.
crazy.
Just throwing it out there. Second of all, like, who is he setting up for success here? This is what I want to know. Like, is he setting up old mullet Belichick for success? Is that who he's setting it up for? I'm just confused. I'm confused by Buddy's reasoning there.
They all end up leaving anyway.
Right.
So who is he trying to set up?
I don't know. Then he thinks that Mike McDaniel's going to wet himself. You know, he thinks he's going to lose all bodily function control whenever he sees Bill Belichick in his hoodie because he didn't work for him. Because, you know, that Belichick tree works out fantastic. And
that's what's crazy. If he's thinking about setting his kids up or his coaches for success, none of them had any.
It's very weird. Very weird. And then what was his last reason? Oh, the regular season. That's when the true tests are, not the preseason. All right. Well, we'll see. You know,
man.
I mean, you guys are up there freaking out. You're like, this is the worst offense I've ever seen in a Patriots preseason.
Right. We're going from what they've been saying.
This is what you guys are saying, not us.
Right. I don't know. I don't buy into that. It's been the worst preseason ever. But at the same time, I'm looking at that team and I'm looking at, okay, where are they going to beat you? Like, at some point, the players matter. At some point, I need to be able to look across from what you bring to the table and match the talent on either side of the ball. So, yeah, you could be a great coach and you could have all these game plans, but at some point, your defense is going to have to stop the Miami Dolphins offense. At some point, your quarterback is going to have success against that pass rush. That's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a good play called or not, those are the facts of sports, is that regardless of how great a coach you are, regardless of how great your scheme is, at some point it boils down to the players being able to have success against the guys they're opposing on the field. And to be honest with you, that's where my problem lies. My problem lies with the talent on both sides of the ball. And I think Miami has more talent. So they can read into it whatever you want, but it all boils down to that.
Guy cares about his kids so much. He told his kid, the greatest quarterback of all time, to take a hike. He's a good football player. The guy just wanted to be loved. The guy's like, yeah, all right, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I just thought of something.
Hmm?
And I'm thinking like Tobin here for a second, so bear with me. You think one of the reasons why Matt Patricia is the offensive coordinator because Belichick didn't want to replace his son on the defensive side?
Ooh, possibly. Could see that.
Because if Patricia comes back and you've made your son the defensive coordinator, are you going to take that job away from him?
I just don't understand.
It's all
why.
about your kids?
You might be right, but like, why is Patricia back at all? Like, if you're just like, hey, seat's taken, Patricia.
No, because I will say this about
a lackey to boss around.
I will say this about Bill Belichick. If you notice, former players, former coaches, he will always bring back.
Sure.
So
Come back to daddy. Come into his bosom.
I mean, you could be coach of rehab like Nick Saban.
Oof.
Oof.
Hit the ID here, man bosom.
Wow.
Guy says that Boston sounding Kermit the Frog sounds just as stupid as I thought he would.
I get it's all about home team, right? So you're gonna look for the positives, but to say that Bill Belichick, when dealing with first-year coaches, is just gonna outcoach them and that's why they're gonna win, is a bit of a reach. Because back when we would say that, he had Tom Brady and he had that defense. Okay? It's funny how a great coach can look average with average players.
Yeah.
So, look, will we not say that amongst the pantheon of NBA coaches, Popovich is up there?
Oh,
right?
Yeah, of course.
How well did he do without players?
Not great, Bob.
Okay. So, as great a coach as he is, you still need players. Okay? The one thing that Bill Belichick always had when he didn't have anything else is he had Tom Brady.
Yep.
Okay? So, like, yeah, I'm all about, look, coaching matters. I'm not saying it doesn't, but great players can make a bad coach look good. But a good coach can't make bad players look better, look great. You can't.
I just think it's a little bit much to think that
it's gonna be a blowout. Book it.
They're gonna win.
He went with the old book it.
Yeah, book it. But he's book it, but I'm not gonna bet.
Right.
That's what I was like. Okay, you literally are not.
You're not booking
your mouth
it.
is.
Right.
Like,
You're not booking it.
No, like he's just like,
the term booking it refers to a bet.
Right. Of course.
So you're not booking it,
Yeah.
but he's telling everybody else to book it.
Guaranteed. I'm not booking it, but you can book it.
Yeah. You know what that means when somebody says that? Hell no. I'm not investing nothing that you're not willing to invest.
Right. Of course.
Right.
Idiot. I love it though. Get on down here. Come on. Get on down here, Patriots. Sweat your ass off for some extra days. Come on. Like a furnace down here. You think you're going to get used to it? I'm not used to it. It's miserable.
It's very hot this weekend.
2 days are going to do something to you. The only thing you're going to get used to is Mac Jones is going to look like a lobster. Lobster mac and cheese.
That's a point.
Thanks, man.
Point for Tobin.
Bum. I thought Mac Jones was the greatest. Why all this talk about Belichick? Where's your next coming to Tom Brady? Mac attack. You know why? Because his name's McCorkle, dude.
I forgot that was a thing.
Oh, it's a thing. It's a thing, dude. Please. So tired of Belichick's ass. Tired of them. Tired of the Patriots. You're just lucky the Dolphins aren't looking ahead to the next week. That's what you should be happy with. That's what you should hope for. I'm scared of that game against the Ravens. I'm not gonna lie.
That's your guy. You usually don't do fantasy, so now how are you gonna feel with like?
Hey, don't do that.
Players.
I hate when people do that.
Here's what I'm gonna do.
Hey, my team lost, but at least I won my fantasy.
No, I hate that. No, I'm gonna start. I'll start Kirk Cousins that week. Sorry. So you might want to face me. Yeah, I'm not gonna start Lamar Jackson.
So you got Lamar Jackson and your backup is Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he took Tua from me. I wanted Tua.
I did. Took him. Hey, I'm open to trades. I'm open to trades.
I'll give you Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
You give me Tua Tagovailoa. I give you Mike Gesicki.
If you had Patrick Cobbs, I would have maybe considered it.
What's wrong with you guys?